Good LGBT representation looks like diversity, looks like making sure your characters are all from different backgrounds and different races and different religions and even different economic statuses. You want to make sure you're really covering all your bases when you have an LGBT character.
Personally, I feel that good LGBT representation looks like normalization, letting it become a normal part of society rather than something grand and special. Not that it isn't something to be cherished, but something that is accepted and just regular in society rather than being an outlier.
So for me, good LGBT representation is not something that you really get to see that often. In most shows, it's always basically going to be a white man who's sassy, and if there's any deviation on that, they're usually asexualized in some way.
Good representation, to me, I don't think it has to be explicitly said, and I think the character can just be the character that they are and represent who they are, and it can differ. I just haven't seen a lot of that. Accurate representation is something that's not cut and dry. I guess a character is what they are. I guess for them rather to not be a stereotype.
One of the things that we really we think good LGBT media is normalized images of LGBTQ people. And the place that we find those images in mass media, ironically, is in commercials. When they flash images of same-sex couples, like with children or having health issues or visiting at the hospital or something like that, they are super realistic and really normalized. And
we like that.
And we like that. And whenever we see it, it really catches our attention, and we look at each other and say, was that a lesbian couple?
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's so cool. That was a lesbian couple.
That was a lesbian couple. And we are happy that non-LGBTQ people are at home looking at that, and maybe they're also looking at each other saying, is that a lesbian couple?
Personally, good representation to me is making sure your characters are complex and they're not just background characters. They really have a lot to do with the story.
To see good representation, it means evolution in the way our society looks at it. It looks like it is becoming, regular. That is not just, something to be hated or pushed aside, but to be normalized and accepted into the community, the greater community, more than just the LGBT community.
I don't know what representation I'd like to see other than just, I guess different types. And I don't know how it would be represented. It would be cool to see more of it. I haven't seen a lot of it. But maybe I just haven't watched the right things.
Through those kinds of hyper-normalized images of gay people, like gay people walking to the hardware store or something, it makes the world safer for LGBTQ people. So,
because it's mainstream.
It's mainstreaming us.
The show This Is Us, the guy that gets discovered by his son, who he gave up when he was a baby.
Biological father.
The bio dad, yeah. It turns out he's a gay man, and he had a very complex character, and he was going through cancer, and it wasn't just one thing, and he wasn't just pigeonholed. He was a really fleshed out, really good character that stayed around for quite a few of the episodes and
even seasons.
I personally really liked that character because I felt like he was really authentic.
My favorite is Albus Dumbledore from the Harry Potter series because it is a part of his character, but it isn't a big main part of his character. You think of him for his great acts throughout the book, for his great power and great caring, and not just because of that. It's not something super special or weird. It is just a part of who he is.
One of my favorite representations of just a gay person in a movie is from Shelter. And I remember the first time that I saw it, there was this really nice feeling that I had when one of the characters said to another one that the relationship didn't have to mean anything, but if they wanted it to, it could. And I just thought that was so novel, seeing somebody take a relationship serious really meant something to me. There's a difference between portraying guys who will have sex with guys and guys who can be intimate and have a real meaningful relationship with other men. And I think that's something that's missing in a lot of the mainstream representations of gay, lesbian relationships on screen.
The only one I can think of is Beau from Lost Girl. And she's portrayed almost in a stereotype of being slutty. It also fits it because she is a succubus. They don't ever actually state that she is bisexual, but she has male and female lovers throughout the show.
So I really feel like there has been a lot of more comfort in our lives just to know that, you know, we can just go out and be like any other normal couple.
And especially when gay marriage became a thing, you can just call your wife and nobody bats an eye. So that's been really great. I think that if there's a bad thing about the normalization and the sort of the ubiquitous nature of gay people can go anywhere now, the bad thing about it is, far from the gay neighborhood being a ghetto, there's not a gay neighborhood anymore. So there's not the community, there's not the gay bars, the cute little coffee shops, the places you could go and pick people up, you know. I mean, so I think the loss of community has also happened in that. On the one hand, we can be anywhere, and on the other hand, we can't be in one tight area where we know everybody. So there's good and bad. There's a more freedom of movement and also a loss of community.
Yeah, you want to be in the commercial. You don't want to be on the news.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.